Sturgeon. The term sturgeon refers to any of the 28 species of fish belonging to the family Acipenseridae. These fish can be found almost globally, occupying waters in and surrounding North America and Eurasia. These fish are known for their large size, reaching lengths upwards of 12 feet, with specimens in history reaching lengths of over 20. This makes them a prized catch for fishermen and ichthyologists who recognize the fish's majesty. But when most people hear the word sturgeon, they aren't thinking about the fish. They think caviar, a luxury food item made from the roe of the fish, otherwise known as its eggs, which due to a high price fetched for a genuine product, has led to the drastic decline in their population, bringing a once fairly common species of fish to the brink of extinction. This problem is only exacerbated by the smuggling and poaching industry, which has popped up in an attempt to shave off some of the profits from the caviar trade. Often these poachers use underhanded techniques in not only transporting the fish, but also capturing the fish. It's only as of recent that these techniques have began to be cracked down upon. In one case from early 2020, a live 7-foot-long sturgeon was found in the back of a man's car, most likely on the way to have its roe harvested. Thankfully, the officers were able to get the fish back into the water before it died, and the man was prosecuted. Though it appears that the sturgeon believed that punishment wasn't enough, as this image appeared online months later. Anyway, that's not true. Well, everything except the last part was true. For a long time I have looked at this image and wondered what actually happened, or at least where it came from. And this image has been circulated online for years, at least since early 2019, where Reddit posts would the image show up on r/The Simpsons, back when The Simpsons was still fun. It's also more interestingly shown up on a Chinese Instagram post calling out Gerard Way for his father's unrealistic expectations, which he thrust upon his children. Anyway, initially my search had dried up after finding this Instagram post. But then, while reading a comment on the picture in the subreddit r/idiots in cars, a commenter claimed to have found the image on r/Wisconsin, along with a proposed origin for the image. It read,
That fish there's a replica was hanging from the side of Mark, so this individual crashed in it.
This offers a simple conclusion to my search, which I frankly found too good to be true. While the fish did appear to be incredibly stiff, as well as having a clear hanging point near the tip of the tail, it is also incredibly lifelike, lacking any of the weathering which would be common on a sign made to bear the whole weight of Wisconsin weather for any period of time. Another damning piece of evidence for this story is the car's location. It's not at a bar, it's not in a parking lot, it's not even on the back of a tow truck. It's in someone's driveway. So for this story to be true, I am to believe that the driver of this vehicle somehow miraculously drove themselves back home after hitting and taking a sturgeon to their front bumper without dislodging it on the way back, or without being apprehended or stopped. Or a tow truck driver was able to successfully load the car onto its back without dislodging the sturgeon, transport the car back to the individual's home and put it well into their driveway facing away from the road, which is clearly in the background of the image. In the most simplest of terms, it's unlikely to be either. But one thing in this story does make sense. Its location. Wisconsin has a mostly healthy sturgeon population and a love for the fish, which is evident by the real sturgeon statues throughout the state. It also has my first positive ID, the species of the sturgeon we're looking at. From the image, the sturgeon appears to be of a more cool, sandy coloration, in line with both species of sturgeon from the state, but its size is the main difference. The shovel-nosed sturgeon, while cute, being the smallest species of sturgeon, could not reach the lengths of the fish in the image. The lake sturgeon, however, reaches lengths of 7 or more feet, making this approximately 4 to 5 foot long fish well in line with the species. Now, this still leaves the question of why they have a drilled hole and a hook in the tail. This could be for a variety of reasons, ranging from display or storage before preparation. It being in cold storage, most likely in a freezer, would explain the rigidness of the fish's body. That or taxidermy. Finally, we have the issue of how this image was created in the first place. It's clear that the original story was a stupid, sarcastic lie made up by a Redditor trying to farm Reddit gold to continue his obsession with being perceived as funny on the internet. So what really happened? My hypothesis is as follows. Subaru owner crashes car into something, most likely a pole or some other thin yet strong obstacle. The pole damages the bumper, breaking off this part of the bumper completely, while leaving the headlight mostly intact. This is why I believe it had to be thin. But the pole isn't finished. It bends the already damaged hood of the car before finally breaking the front grille of the car, exposing a large hole. A hole, the driver thinks after finally getting home, that the lake sturgeon I have in my basement freezer would fit perfectly in, inadvertently crafting the image before us. Now, there's still always the chance that the statue story is more true than I predicted, but this is the explanation which covered all of the bases for me. Though there is a question in my mind, a question which I have asked my friends many times regarding this image that is still eating away at me. Let's just say if I were to somehow procure a potato cannon-esque frozen sturgeon launcher and use it as a weapon, what kind of warfare would that be classified as? To put it more simply, if I shot a car with a sturgeon, would it be considered biological warfare? Biological warfare, by definition, is warfare involving the use of biological weapons. So if we take this most simple definition of biological warfare, then yes, the sturgeon cannon would be considered biological warfare. But unfortunately, not everyone agrees with that definition and chose to complicate the definition, saying that biological warfare is instead the use of toxins of biological origin or microorganisms as weapons of war. So, because it's not likely that you would die from the bacteria on the fish before first succumbing to the impact of the fish to your soft fleshy body, the sturgeon launcher cannot be classified as biological warfare. The issue with classifying this specific weapon is that no category really fits it. Ballistic warfare requires the projectile to be rocket propelled. Chemical warfare doesn't work either because we aren't using sturgeon powder, we're using the sturgeon. Conventional warfare falls to the wayside the moment that we propose using a sturgeon propelling device, so quickly I've run out of options. Handily, there is a category for this kind of outlier situation, known as unconventional warfare, which works near perfectly. Unconventional warfare is defined as
military and quasi-military operations other than conventional warfare.
I know, very helpful, but here's where it becomes important. Unconventional warfare targets the civilian population psychologically. What? Why did he stop? What? Ignoring the rest of the definition for my own benefit, few situations could be as surprising or psychologically damaging as having your car pierced by an anti-personnel fish. So yeah,